It's snowing. It's snowing. I'm back from the video. I need to come up with an intro. But okay, girlhood. The state, shared experience, and mindset of being a girl. Not yet a woman, but the coming of age, mere moments each girl experiences as a girl. Girlhood can be shaped by both individual experience, feelings, and moments in a girl's life. To me is something I never experienced. I'm 18 years old, and the craziest thing is like I never even realized that I didn't experience this until my senior year of high school, because I don't think anyone tells you how heartbreaking your senior year is when you discover you literally don't even have friends. Like I generally had like 1 or 2 friends, and they were all kind of off in their separate like groups in high school, so like I didn't have people who I could really like vibe with, and it was so isolating and so lonely. And part of that was my fault. Like I was very much to myself. I was very much a Debbie Downer. I was very much like, everyone hates me, no one likes me, I'm just too weird, you know, sort of energy. And in my head, and then also I just hated being seen, perceived, judged, so I would like stop myself from making friends and just be quiet in an effort to not be judged for something that I could potentially say. That's exhausting. And I was exhausted. Like I generally felt so isolated my senior year of high school. And so like and so when I was 17, I realized like, oh, like looking back on like all my experiences, all the friendships that I had with girls specifically, because I do think like girlhood is rooted in female friendships. Like I don't think that, or feminine friendships, I don't think that you can really experience girlhood with guy friends in the same way that you experience it with a group of girlfriends. And so I generally just struggled with like feeling like I was the problem and I was a weirdo, you know, and like maybe I was a weirdo, maybe I was way too quiet, or maybe I was just too weird and serious and I didn't joke around enough, or maybe I was just too boring, you know, or maybe I just did not get humor in the spaces that I was around. So it could have been a combination of those things. It probably was. I'm gonna be honest, like I really just kept to myself, and even when I would speak to people, I would never really joke around with people or test boundaries. Like I just be very much about like respecting people's boundaries, being very kind. Like the way that I feel like I would present myself to friends is not too far from the way that I would present myself to like teachers, maybe excluding like talking about boys obviously, but literally I didn't know how to truly let my guard down around someone unless I felt safe. And this still applies today, which is why I don't have friends in college. But back to girlhood, I would say that for me, it was such a big thing now that I'm even 18 and I'm making this video now, because I just look around and I see what girlhood has done to people. Like I really missed out on having those like girl talk type of situations when I was like 13, 12 years old, going through like puberty and stuff like that, and my body changing and certain things happening to my body. Like I wish that I had a core group of like girlfriends or a friend group that I could talk to about like the changes that were happening in my body. And actually the funniest thing, in middle school I definitely did have like girlfriends and stuff like that, but COVID happened and that just isolated everyone further. And COVID is actually when, it's really funny, honestly, like towards the start of COVID is when puberty really started to escalate for me, so that did not help things. And like we can talk about the psychological effects that COVID had on like an entire generation of people, because we know like people have talked about it in various ways, but it definitely did make me fear for like human interactions. And I just don't think I got over that, you know what I mean? Like I just generally don't think that I was the same person before COVID and after COVID. And I want to say that it improved me as a person. I don't know. I just know that like COVID really isolated me from my friends further. So like I couldn't have those girlhood experiences, like sneaking out with friends, you know what I mean? I didn't have any of that because I didn't have any girlfriends. I didn't have a girlfriend group since like 7th grade, 8th grade, before COVID. That was the last time I had a girlfriend group, and I'm literally 18 right now. And it's so difficult for me, I feel like, to make friends with anyone, women, men, and I feel like the women who are like around me, because I'm like not very much of an expressive person, like I'm very nice, like ooh, but because I'm not like girly, like oh my god, how are you, you know, I'm not that type of vibe with like my girlfriends. I feel like that I don't really tap into like my feminine energy when I'm around my girlfriends. I'm like usually kind of like nonchalant. I feel like a lot of like women hate that type of energy, and the ironic thing about that energy that I probably exude to other women is like in regards to like why the girlhood experience didn't happen for me is because generally I just have social anxiety. I just can't be like bubbly Kristine, like the Kristine that I show in my videos. That's who I'm trying to find again, and that's who I am. Like I'm usually like ah, plus like I only get really like bubbly and stuff when I'm talking about like TV shows, movies. Paul Mescal, Niall Horton, we love them, but I just don't get like I get like giggly around my friends. Like my friends make me laugh, don't get me wrong, but I can't say it would be my first instinct if I saw a friend to be like, oh my god, how are you, give me a hug, give me a hug, give me a kiss. What the fuck? Like that's just not my instinct, bro. Like I'm just like, hi, how are you, and then we move on and we kiki. You know what I mean? Not that I'm not excited to see my friends, but it's just like not, I don't ever want to force my energy, and like usually I'm just like very like chill, or people would say nonchalant, and like I just noticed, like because I observe other people a lot and try to kind of like mimic other people's behavior, I noticed the female friendships around me are usually very touchy. I'm not a touchy person at all, are usually very like feminine, and I feel like I don't really present as that, like I said. And I'm just more like, hey, how are you? Like, let's chill, let's talk, let's have deep conversations. And people like don't like me for it, or like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And that's what I get. Like that's what I give to the conversation. But I do think that's a bad thing, sort of, because maybe I am blocking myself off from girlhood and these girly and feminine experiences. Like that's probably why I haven't had these conversations that I've been craving to have, like the like conversations where you can talk about boys, puberty, growing up as a girl, what that entailed, those like vulnerable yet like universal experiences, or just like painting your nails together, doing face masks together. Like I never had those experiences with like my girlfriends, and I just wish like I had that, because I feel like I would be sort of a whole person. Like fuck the fact that I even have a boyfriend yet, fuck that. I wish I had those core girlhood experiences, and I just never had a friend group. I never had a good group of girls. Like I had separate friends, like separate like girlfriends, but like because we were in a group, like we weren't constantly like hanging out, as in like if you're in a friend group you're usually hanging out, you know? So I just wish that I had more of like a normal teenage experience instead of it being so isolating and lonely as it was, because literally all throughout 4 years of high school I did not have friends. I didn't have any girlfriend groups or nothing. I was just constantly alone, and it broke me. Like I was so sad all throughout high school. I would literally just like cry like almost every day. And my friend would take me to and from school, and she would see me crying in her car and she'd be like, what's wrong? And I'd just be like, can you just drive? Like, which is so like entitled of me. Like who the fuck do you think you are? Like you're literally, she's your chauffeur at this point, chauffeur, whatever it's called. Like she's driving you to and from school, and you're talking about like, just drive. Like I need to think, like I actually need to do so much more for that friend. I love her, I do. Yeah. You know what? Okay, sorry. I'm like getting off topic, but I wanted to make this in terms of like saying happy Valentine's Day. By the time I'm posting this video, it's gonna be like not Valentine's Day. But this is specifically in regards to like Galentine's, because like Galentine's to me is like the epitome of girlhood. Like all of us are single ladies, or even if you're in a relationship, you're just hanging out with the girls, doing girly things, embracing love and romance together. Like I never had that, you know? And I never had friends who like, which is insane to me, I love me some rom-coms. Where are my rom-com girlies? I've never had friends because, again, like, I'm so closed off and shy. Like, I've never met a person and talked about, like, oh my god, I love this rom-com. Can we watch together? Can we watch this rom-com together? You know how depressing that is? Like, I've always just wanted to have like a movie night with a girl. I never had any normal teenage experience. None of the girlhood things, you know? Like, it just, generally when I think about it, I'm like, high school was so fucking miserable for no reason. And it was my fault, you know? Like, I should have forced myself to be more out there and stop being so scared of being perceived and seen for who I was. Like, to be fair, there's also something else hindering me too, but like, damn it, I should have cared more about myself and cared more about creating connections, because I feel like since graduating from high school and going to college, I feel like I don't have any of those experiences. So I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end the video here, but I wanted to say, like, does anyone feel that way too, where you feel like you were so closed off, reserved, awkward even, and like you weren't bubbly enough to be around girls, and then the guys, like, you just did not care for guys, but you always wanted to be like a part of like a girlfriend group, but like you felt like you were not feminine enough or you're not bubbly enough. And I just feel like I get that from like a certain friend that I have right now in life. I don't even know if I honestly, sometimes I think she doesn't like me, but like also I know that my perception of the way people see me is skewed due to my low confidence. Like I automatically think people don't like me because like I struggle to like myself. But I will say this, like, I just see how she interacts with like her other girlfriends and stuff like that, and it's very like friendly, and like they're always touching each other, and it's just like, oh, like they're so cute. And it's like, that's just not my vibe, you know? And I wish I met someone who was like also like that. But then also it's like, that's the beauty of making friends, is you meet different people with different vibes. And so I wish someone, like, I do want someone like me who would match my freak and like just match my energy, where it's like we can be nonchalant but then bubbly in occasion together at certain opportunities, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to meet someone who I find would be similar to myself. But at the other hand, I think like when it comes to like girlhood, I'd also like to have those experiences now, because I still feel like there's like a window for that to happen. I just need a girlfriend group, guys. I want to experience girlhood. So let me know in the comments if you feel like you haven't ever experienced girlhood, and let me know what you guys think about your experience of that.